see, you know, how things have changed and have improved throughout the years. And now, at this point, we also would like to thank the Lord and the sponsors that we have for this Don Bosco Film Festival. The Bosco Film Festival wishes to thank the following sponsors: Ayala Malls,
David Salon,
the Santos Law Offices,
Don Bosco Press Incorporated,
Don Bosco Technical Institute, Makati City,
Felicidad PC Foundation,
Magnolia Chicken, San Miguel Foods Incorporated,
Mayor Menchi Abalos, Mandaluyong City,
Petron,
Philippine Airlines,
the Philippine Star,
Eugene Japanese Cuisine. Thank you very much. Our keynote speaker for this afternoon is known to me personally and to Reverend Jerome, inasmuch as when we were together as high school students in Don Bosco, Mandaluyong, we were also together in the radio program Anak Gabay Mo, a Catholic Mass Media Awards Hall of Fame awardee. It was a radio program run mainly by Bosconians.
As a young Bosconian, he has judged 3 grand finals of the World Schools Debating Championship in Cape Town, Antalya, and Bangkok.
As a third-year high school student, he traveled around the world, speaking for child laborers' rights, culminating with his address at the United Nations headquarters.
His first directorial effort for Tumbang Preso was graded A by the Cinemalaya Evaluation Board. Tumbang Preso was followed by other films like Bar Boys in 2017, which has been nominated as Best Screenplay in the Gawad Orian and the Star Awards, and Liway last year, 2018, who was Best Picture for the National Press Club. For the information of everyone, Liway was released on August 3, 2018 as part of the 14th Cinemalaya Independent Film Festival, where it received a special jury commendation and the Audience Choice Award in the full-length feature film category.
As already mentioned earlier, he is an alumnus of Don Bosco Technical College, Mandaluyong City, batch 1999. He took up Masters in Economics at the Ateneo de Manila and Masters of Development Management at the Asian Institute of Management.
While taking up his master's, he became a debater, winning nationals, holding the record for the highest record-breaking Asian team in the Australasians, and the best judge of Asia.
As a young man, he received the Abbot Chancellor's Award, the highest award that San Beda College gives to graduating college students. And in 2005, he was one of the 10 outstanding students of the Philippines.
My dear young filmmakers, here to inspire you, let us welcome our keynote speaker, Director Kip Waybanda.
Hello, it's an honor to be here for 2 reasons. First, I've judged 3 out of the 5 Don Bosco Film Festivals, and it's amazing that it's grown so big. And we now receive more DVDs than ever for us to watch, which is very exciting. The second, more petty reason is I've actually seen this kind of podium since I was in high school, and it's the first time I'm speaking in this podium, so I'm very happy about that. I'm glad that this project is happening in Don Bosco, and I'm glad that this was the offering of the Don Bosco to the 200th year of our patron saint. Because you are actually participating in a craft, in an art that has existed long before we even had civilizations. The art of storytelling, the art of narrative building was always there with us even when we were living in caves. That's why if you look at the cavemen drawings, they have stories of the buffaloes they catch, and you see that all over, even Tabon Cave. So that means storytelling is so ingrained in human nature that it is part and parcel of who we are as a species and as civilizations. And no better way to tell stories, I would say, than cinema. All of the other arts that preceded it didn't have the scope and breadth of filmmaking. And I saw this in a lot of the entries this year when you decided to tackle very serious issues, or when you decided to tackle very personal takes on religiosity, on what's happening in society, on even mental health and identity. So I think we are actually following that very long tradition of the arts. But what is the purpose of making art? And I was asked this kasi nag-screening ako ng Liway sa Don Bosco, Mandaluyong. And then that screening multiplied. Supposedly we were gonna have 2 screenings na naging 5 because of the reaction of the parents, the reaction of the teachers, and the reaction of the students. During that time, I was asked, we are in a technical school, why should we bother with the arts? And I think that's a very valid question. And there are several purposes of art. It's so hard to define what art is, honestly. But maybe we can understand it based on its purpose, why you make it. Some people make art to express, meaning they have something to say and they want to say it. Some people make art to release emotions. You know, I'm very angry right now. I'm gonna write a poem. Or my girlfriend broke up with me. I'm gonna write her a poetry of bitterness or hugot. So those are valid functions of art. Some people make art for money, commercial reasons. So you see this a lot in your commercial films, your mainstream music, mainstream art. But there are other functions of art. Father Grants alluded to one. Art is used to worship. So for example, in religious songs, religious poetry, and even religious films. When I was briefly in a film school, which I did finish, because I made my first film, some of my classmates, 6 of my classmates were nuns. And the reason why they were there was they wanted to make art explicitly for the purpose of worship, as a way of expressing their love for God. And that's a higher purpose in my opinion than say commercial or just I want to express. The other purpose of art is healing. Human trafficking victims and child labor victims that I've dealt with are often using art to draw and paint and even write stories or make films about what they have experienced. And in that way, they're able to achieve catharsis, able to achieve a sense of healing, a sense of oneness with the self. And so art can be used for healing. But art can also be used for social inquiry and pushing the boundaries of our society. And when I say social inquiry, art is a tool to question what is going on in our society. Whether it's in terms of the structure of the family and things you don't like with the family structure, whether it's things like government policies that lead to the systemic abuse of rights, whether it's inequality or poverty or exploitation, there is that very well-defined role in the history of art to contest whatever society is telling us is correct, whatever the powers that be are telling us are right and reasonable, to question premises that we are fed on a daily basis. And this is why I made the film that I made last year, which was a heavy personal film. For those who have seen it, you know how personal that film is, no? About a child growing up in prison during the martial law, and how his parents were trying to make him not traumatized. You know? So they were trying to raise this kid who's growing up in a horrible environment during a time of martial law. And I didn't want to make that film. After Bar Boys kasi, I had a lot of offers not to make commercial films. So I didn't really want to make Levi. And the reason why I made it was because of internet trolls. Sabi kasi ng mga internet trolls, hindi daw totoo yung story ng mga victims. Sabi kasi nila, gawa-gawa lang daw ng mga victims yung narrative ng martial law at hindi daw ito totoo. Tapos nilibing pa si Marcos sa libingan ng mga bayani. So, on behalf of the victims who couldn't express, I made a film about the martial law. And so when I was making the film, I always keep hearing this notion that young people are apathetic. And that's what they want us to believe, no? Na parang sabi ni Amy Marcos, the millennials have moved on. But what did we discover? So Liway